Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're going to do the Clearview talk today, the psychic medium reading about community matters and universal matters, and see what's going on. So this week is like you can't go right, you can't go left, you can't do anything. You feel like you're stuck in a rut, and then all of a sudden, like you're going about and you're filling out paperwork because some blocks have actually lifted. And then all of a sudden, this is what I'm saying as a psychic, like the paperwork comes back and it's either yay or nay. And what I'm saying is a lot of negativity this week. A lot of negative comes in, which is not what we want to hear, but that's realistic. Like we just don't understand where all these problems are coming from with like budget cuts and money laundering per se, and then all these layoffs to firings to where you say all these community matters of health, welfare, and safety are still having an issue, and we just don't understand why. We just don't understand why. So when we look at this and you go, there really is nothing that you can do. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So in reality, what I can see, at least here in the state of Connecticut, to about the 13 colonies, probably down to North Carolina and New Jersey, is that you just can't get it done. You can't get a DUNE. No matter what it was, you're going to be interrupted. And then you can't even file through. You're having like issues with your taxes. You have to do an extension. You're trying to get everything, even like up to heating assistance, energy assistance, even up to like disaster relief, where you just can't even see it coming. Then all of a sudden it's Passover, it's Palm Sunday, and then here it is, it's Easter. And then when it's Easter, you just can't even do it done because some people are like, I'm happy to see you as a family member, but I got to get home. Why? I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. So let's look at this. When you see this, there's no securement in anything, no matter what we do in our bank account, to our job, to the cars, to getting gas and food, because we don't qualify for anything, no matter what it shows. So when you see this, everyone's trying to do teamwork. That is the reality right now. We don't know what blew through here or what it was. But when you see this Eight of Pentacles and we're trying to go soft, it literally goes, look at the car and look at everything. Look at everything. What is this? Look at marriages, look at partnerships, look at contracts, look at businesses, and look at it goes right to how it was last night with a holistic review. And it was, hold on, we're going to delay your care because we have to make the contract with the insurance to the hospital. So then when you see it and you go to the Four of Cups on the table, in reverse, it is, there's no apathy. It's actually expressive. There's actually like sense. There is something in the eyes. And then when you see it, you go, a victory comes in. So as it was in many lifetimes and many eras, a victory comes in when a blast of wind, like a gust of wind, it blows right through and then it hits you right in the face and it hits you right on the back of the head and says you can't even understand what happened whatsoever. So when you see the Star in reverse, it's not what you wanted. It's not what you hear. It's not what you wanted to see whatsoever. It goes to the Seven of Swords in reverse and says, you can't even cut it out. You're sitting there going, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing. I don't understand why I can't get better. Six of Cups, it's happened before. It's happened before in history. And you just don't understand why it's repeating. And then everyone's happy. It's July. It's okay. Everything is okay. So when you see it and you see the Page of Pentacles, you go, young offer on the table? Absolutely. Absolutely. Two of Swords in reverse, you can't even see it coming. You can't even see it coming whatsoever. So when you see it and you actually go, to the highest degree, it is a crossroads. I have no more blocks. I can move. I can get a new job. I can move here. I can change my car insurance. I can do all of these things. And maybe I can actually maybe qualify for the food pantry. And you go, energy comes in, not foreseen, Three of Wands. Then it really hits you. It really hits you. That is the whole week. You're not to know. And it looks like you are in La La Land. You're in grandiose thoughts. and you're trying to do all these things, and it doesn't matter what anyone says, even if they say you're qualified, and it goes to you're not qualified, and it's right there in your face, slamming you, and you say, I just have to follow my intuition and my instinct, and I think that I need to actually be on a block. So when I actually look at it and I say, yeah, just don't even bother, that's kind of heinous when you actually start saying, maybe I just need to be blocked. Maybe it's just time to move on. Because then you say, you know what, I'm actually not getting what I need, nor is anybody else in my house or in my neighborhood. And then you say, I just don't understand how that turned, especially when it comes to we have increase in domestic disturbances to domestic disputes to aggravated assault, and nobody can play outside, and that nobody can clean up their yard after their animals go to the bathroom. But go ahead and have a celebration. Go ahead and get a get together. It's really passionate. It really is. All this coming together, like this is what we're hearing. It's this like remembrance of what is to do where you can't even see it. There are like offers and like give like a day of giving. I hear like a day of giving, like liberation and tariff, and you see it coming and you see this and you go, we've been waiting for this one. It truly is a lesson of a struggle, meaning this, less of. It looks dishonorable in many areas in the United States right now. It is so hard and so young what is on the table, and it wasn't through Doge, it wasn't through any other audit, it was through observancy and cutting away with logic, sheer clean logic, where you looked at the wording and the verbatim of everything that came across the table to employee contracts. And you go, I need to study this because this makes no sense to no sense. And then it goes into a working of one's magic and skill that you can't steal anything. Steal is an old term of getting it done, and where you look like a crazed loon trying to get it done. And it looks greedy because it's all for oneself. But that is when the passionate new beginning starts. That's where the fire starters come in. And it actually catches wind to energy, and the whole community feels it and starts doing it. It really is usually a discovery of something that was heinous. And it gives a lot of people anxiety, and where it causes a huge change in chaos, even to like physics theory of chaos to CH, CA, and KH chaos, to where nobody in science can understand it. But when you see this Knight of Swords come in, and it goes right to the furthest past, where you can't rush in, and you have this like money balance to energy balance because you've been sitting, there is this like finality of relief, and you can see it's at sunset, but really it's going to be a midday relief of an overnight of like, and you hear Ovaltine, and it goes forward, and you go, it's just not done yet. We're not ready. Hidden motives. What is the motive where on the table it's still positive and it cuts away the negative? It goes the Three of Swords. You can't even understand how hard it hurts to make somebody wait. But then you go to legislature and you say, is this a hate crime? It's a free will choice. Are you sure about that? That is the testing. Look at all forms of communication, even talking on the low. Because when you see the Four of Cups come in, you have to say, we're a little discontented still, but we're secure. That's the energy. We're secure. We got it. There's no reticence. It's gone. Absolutely gone. Resistance is when actually assistance comes in to the highest degree of max because you have a time limit. But what happens if you're impeded? There's people who are actually stuck in ruts and they can't get out. So as we look at this one, you can see you have foreseen it would happen. When you see this and you go, the Nine of Pentacles goes, you can't even do an undone. When you see this, this Six of Wands in reverse, you can't really ride into victory because of this negative of this Nine of Pentacles. But the Sun of Pentacles is truly saying it gets taken back. It gets taken back. But did you really lose it? No. It ends up being there's certain separations that have to happen in order to have it. But all of a sudden you go, I don't like the word allocations and assistance. It usually has like 15 meanings, allocations. So let's actually look at the runes. Nadis. When you see Nadis, it comes in so through and hard that you cut away to not cut away to living, and you're trying to like cut down on bills and like make it flow better in the checkbook. And you see this and you say, good, we got it. We got it. We got it. You can't even do it. You can't even do it. When you see this and you say, wealth, it has to do with money, all forms of wealth also to property. So when you go about your day, right, and you actually see this and you're solid, and then all of a sudden it freezes and it goes, it was a turn of luck. It is like a window of opportunity. This is where you go, it was strong. And you go, absolutely, it ashed it. Because why? Maybe they weren't involved. Maybe they wanted a piece of the pie. Maybe they wanted everything. And then it goes to birth. It goes to Bacana. It goes to everything. And, you have to look at it and you have to say, there was something wrong. It has power, absolute power. When you see this and you say, Hera, you actually have to look at it so hard and go, where is this like hearing or collections? Because then all of a sudden you look at the table and like, I thought I had a restraining order on them. I thought I had this on them. I thought this. And I'm like, I have a gift. I have a gift. Okay. But then it goes to havoc. Are you going to go down that road again? Any which way or form. It doesn't matter if it's in the community or if it's in your personal life. Any form of it. If it's causing it, get it out. So, the theme on TikTok right now is about healing, about being in recovery, even if it's separation, and finding your true self, which is okay. It really is, because it does fit into politics. It does fit into community matters. So when you see Degas and you go, my bank account went to the checkbook and the checkbook went to only pennies, and then you see this and you go, heritage and estate, you go, instinct, absolute instinct. It really is ill fate. So let's explain fate and destiny again. Fate is when it's out of the blue with no pun intended. You don't see it coming. Even the best of the best psychics do not see it coming to the prophets. It is so on a whim and so like on a way where you can't understand it, to where it was foretold, it was foreseen, it was predicted, and it was everything, and it was supposed to be like that. So when you see this, everyone stands up to be like a warrior, and highly defensive. And it flows so well that you have to actually say, is it torching or is it snuffing? Because then you actually look at it and goes hidden game, pair. So when I see hidden perso, it means go about and you'll see exactly where it is, where the issue is. And where was the issue? It was communication. Nobody wants to communicate. It's not that hard. But when you see it and you go, it just keeps going though. It's got to flow. You can't even make it up. You can't even make it up. What do you mean you can't make it up? I just don't understand that. Then it goes to, did you understand that you're supposed to be at your competencies? All forms of yourself, of oneself? DEI. So when you look at it and you go, no, I didn't know that. I was supposed to do that. It counts, and even community matters down to politics. Every which way and form of yourself, you had to show up. So when I see this, when you see the fire ant, it goes right down to the metaphysical shops even, where they want to sting DEI and they want to get rid of this. When we see this, moth is like this hidden treasure. When you see swan, the beauty of something coming. And when you see elephant, it is like a large block where you can't get away from that, whatever's coming in. When you see mouse, it seems like small and minuscule, and it really isn't, but really it was foretold when you see this crow. So when you see this, it's a rarity, it's a cosmic egg. And you see this, it's defensive, highly defensive, it's watching, hypervigilance at times, per se. You see the golden egg, it really comes in as it is written out, what needs to be. So when I see this, I see the sea, I see the ocean, the oyster. When I see this and I see the scorpion, there's something about like a sting when you go through it. When you see the owl, it's already known. It's like a type of friendship. And when you see sea serpents, it actually is like the all-seeing eye, the evil eye. Like you just know what it is. When you see snake and it comes through, it's just done. They sit together and they say, it's done. It's already done. When you see spider, you can't even believe it, because then all of a sudden they really are in life looking at all the cobwebs and saying, when was the last time they cleaned? When you see dragon, you're going to see it like scaffolding, like scaling up. When you see earthworm, you're actually going to say, I don't like that. I just don't know why. When you see camel, it really is at dusk. That's what the camel means, at dusk. Here we go. Let's look at Pleiadian and Oracle. What else do we need to know for community matters? Here we go. Transmission and dream time. You'll hear it. You will hear it. All of a sudden, you will hear it. Like when you hear transmission and you hear dream time, it's like you heard it and it goes to your subconscious. And when you heard it and you dream about it, all of a sudden it's right there. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. There's something about this with fifth dimensional access that it's right there in your head. And you'll look at it and it's like it hit the nail on the head. And you see universal heart. You can't even believe how hard it was to actually say, like, you got to open up your heart. You got to actually guard your heart at the same time. And then you also have to say, expand your compassion. When you see galactic core, you wouldn't even believe how much people can do these things. Portals like a wild card opening doors, like we had said, and setting your vibration. You have to actually say that some things that will come through that were unbeknownst in many, many families, that you have to practice forgiveness. So, with that being said, again, the golden egg. What is this? You didn't even believe it was coming. Didn't even believe it was coming. All right. Let's look at the Starseed Oracle, and then we'll look at the poker cards. Here it is. Like birth is a portal. There was something that was being like born in places that are not to be known right now, that actually carried out, that caused disruption, whether it was good or bad. And when you see it and you hear it and you feel it, you're like, I feel like I felt this, and it's right here, and it's right here. I don't know why all of a sudden I felt it. So when I see let it go, it's not yours to carry. Just exercise boundaries. That's all that energy is. When you hear it, you feel it, you see it. When you see this serious energy bringing harmony and balance, you can't even believe. You can't even believe. When you say surrender, holding the opposites extreme of life, you can't even do it undone. Like it's polar opposite. When you see this life lessons, soul growth, higher learning and study, you can't even like, what do you mean I could do these things? That's what I hear. A lot of people, I didn't know I could do this. Action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. When you see this soul plan, the fated life and the destiny life, that is what we're talking about. There is a difference. As it is written, it shall be done is probably one of the worst things that could also come through, because it's not always pertinent to you. Here we go. Let's look at poker cards. What do the numbers have to say? All right. Ace of Clubs is a getting together. It's a getting together in all areas. They're happy. Nine of Clubs, Nine of Hearts. I don't know why I said that. Joker. Is it pretend? I'm just not sure. But when you see this and you see this 10 of Diamonds, it's this type of like cut it out, knock it off. I can't even believe this. This King of Clubs comes in and says there is like an overlook and there's an oversight. And when you see this like Ace of Spades, it really is a ride through and you can hear it. But when you see this like Two of Clubs together, they're usually in pairs. And then you see 3 to 5 and you see them come out and they actually look, you see that a lot in urban. And when you see the 4 of Diamonds, they all get together. Then they sit and they watch at night. And so when you see this like Joker card with hearts, you say, I feel like this is skating. And you see this and you say, 6 of Diamonds, just hold them to it. Hold to it. And that's all you need to know. The energy of this is what you'll see, and it's very familiar, is this Jack of Clubs that will come in and you have to like write paperwork. All of a sudden, like people are writing paperwork around a 9th. There we go. Let's close out with crystal quartz. All is done, but you can't be on a run. You can't be on a run. You can't be like on a soup. And you can't be on like the flu. And you can't even be on like 2 a day. And you can't even say it come through. So when you say it come through and you can't even do it too, you can't even be it. You can't even. So all of a sudden you're like, no, you can. And then it goes, my rights are taken away. All of a sudden you're like, I can go do this, I can do that, and I can do this, and I can do that. And that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. It will make sense by May 9th, what people are talking about. You can't even believe what's coming through. So, with that being said, everyone have a happy Easter. And I would say, like I said, around the 9th, you're going to see it come through. And when I say it this week, around Easter, you're going to see it a little bit maybe tangible. Like I said, many people are like, I don't want to get together. But by the 25th, they're like, yeah, something's coming through. Something is coming through, and I already know because I heard it and I felt it and I saw it, and the blocks are gone. So, with that being said, any questions or concerns, go ahead, leave a like, a comment, a share, an email. It's greatly appreciated, and we will talk to you soon.